Hello my friends, and thank you for being with me yet another month. Welcome to all newbies, and invite you to become a subscriber, because then you get notified when I'm live, and it gives you opportunity to kind of interact and bring your energy on board. Now, just a few quickie introductions. I still have my annual Taroscopes on sale. You get one for only $10 and all of them for $20. And I will continue during the April to have my speed up promotion. I am working very hard to kind of catch up with this, but for you it works that instead of like 3-4 weeks, now you're upgrading automatically to a week. So regular reading is becoming rush, and rush reading, which was 7 days, is becoming urgent, so from 7 to 3. And the urgent reading is not more 3 days, it is like 24 hours, so it's kind of awesome. I am doing my best, if you do the order for urgent before 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to actually do it the same day. But then again, sometimes I have to go and see my dad and I'm not at home, so but at that stage I'm going to send you an email saying the timeline for the urgent ones. Now guys, this is all there is. We still have Mercury Retrograde until the 15th, and then another 3 weeks for the shadow. So yay. How is your car going? How is your phone? Is it slow? Is your computer slow? What broke down? And I really hope it is not affecting you as much as it's affecting me. In any case, I'll be doing just regular tarot monthly, and then of course it's going to be revolving then to Lenormand and X spread shortly thereafter. Thank you guys very much, and please like, subscribe, and share this video, and you know that I love you. Hi Capricorn, and welcome to your April tarot reading. So let's start. The bottom of your deck, you have Four of Fire. So Four of Fire is one of those cards that sort of like has universally good meaning. As you can see here, there is like this light breaking in all directions, and it's a kind of like really lovely image of all these rainbow colors coming from everywhere. To me, this is definitely talking about dedication to go to the next level, to the next stage. Something that requires action to move from where you are to the next level, but it's sort of like in a very optimistic, enthusiastic way. This can actually mean finding a girlfriend or finding a boyfriend. This can mean improving your relationship and moving from, let's say, occasional dates to kind of steady dates, or staying over on weekends, or even getting engagement, or even kind of planning to get married at this stage. It's a very promising card, so it's a really good card to have this on the bottom. I also see that you guys are going to be really emotionally affected this month in more ways than one. Whether you're aware of or not, you have this card, Wheel. Well, Wheel to me is one of my 4 karma cards, right? And as you can see, this is one of those few cards that doesn't have the life being in the center, right? And it's always telling us that cycles are always happening in life. This is also something that is unpredictable. It involves the element of luck, right? And of course, this unpredictability generally kind of links to Aquarius because it's connected to Uranus, right? So this is influencing nervous system. You guys are more or less along the lines, slow and steady, leave us Capricorn kind of like to do what we really like to do, and you're willing to put hard work and hard effort, and especially now because there is like sort of like goal in sight. The reason why this is a card of karma, it's always telling us not to forget where we are. if we are on the bottom, eventually we will get on the top. But when we are on the top, eventually we will collapse as well. So we just cannot maintain the position. And it is kind of like really the card of adjustment. It is also a card of big changes, because just imagine of the spinning, you're simply not staying in the spot, right? This is also a card of discovery, of sole purpose in life, realization that really nothing is really permanent and everything is always in some kind of flux. So it could have been that you kind of like had something coming your way that maybe felt good, because most of us don't feel a big difference when something fortunate comes our way. When we just end up being lucky, it's kind of cool. But when we get unlucky, we really notice this. But you guys did get lucky, and I don't mean it in that way, right? But this is like really also warning that you shouldn't be leaving things too much to chance, and don't kind of like think that you don't have to make decisions. But I really just get a slight, only kind of like slight whiff of that kind of like thing. So this is telling me getting in more control of your life, knowing where you're going. It's kind of like all cool so far. Now, there is like some kind of level of something that has been brought to your life, some kind of changes, or some kind of new direction, or in retrospect, you're going to see that something like that has been happening, and it's getting to basically the surface right now. And I think this actually could be something relating to decision that you need to make. And the Two of Sky, or Two of Swords, is generally kind of like difficulty in reaching this decision. You feel that maybe you don't have all the elements that you need to know. This is more or less about facts. This is more or less about thinking. And it is like sometimes talking to me about being stuck in the thinking, like, okay, why is this happening this way? Why is this happening this way? Why is this happening this way? And then instead of kind of getting forward, we're kind of going backwards. So hence, you know, the time is passing by, and you're feeling that if you make decision A, that the B is better decision, or vice versa. So this is crossed with 10 of C, and it's this kind of culmination of something. So you have a 10 here, you have a 10 here, you have a 1 here. Same trajectory. You guys are turning a new leaf, and this indecisiveness is going to be born into decisiveness. There is a decision that looks like it is about a partner, or it is about family that you need to reach. Maybe you're putting a brave face about something you're not brave about. Maybe you're putting happy face about something you're not happy about. Because it's telling me that you are feeling let down. You have a Sea Queen reversed, and you also have the Grace, or Temperance, reversed. So let's talk about Sea Queen. As I said, you're going to have lots of emotional influences, and welcome to Mercury Retrograde. So it could be that things are bubbling up to the surface, and you're getting lost in your emotions, which can be anything from love to anger to dismay to boredom to disgust. It could be that you're simply turning the pipes on, crying, even manipulating, or that somebody's manipulating you by pulling emotional strings, right? Because this is mirroring the Temperance card. As you can see, it has to be a really precise balance that kind of has to move kind of like things forward. But when this reverses, like nobody has a solid ground, right? So this could be talking about emotional instability, inconsistency, clumsiness as well, just simple as that, right? But it could be kind of like severe mood swings and not knowing what to expect. And you have to just remind yourself that you have this like strong will and strong opening, like kind of like knowing where you're going. So the confusion, somebody put a wrench in it, and that could be this Mercury retrograde. So many things happen, right? So maybe you're scattering your energies, because that's what happens with Temperance reversed, right? Then, you know, it's asking you to really consider everything in your life. If you find lack, ensure that you kind of like build solid foundations before you kind of like proceed forward, right? So it can also imply that it could have been a lack of judgment, and it can actually talk about emotional stress and can talk about tension. So the message here, I think, is going to be as simple as look before you leap. So don't be too self-indulgent, because you do have this strength in you. You have like this sense of, I know where I'm going, right? So be a little bit more considerate and more patient with those around you, because there's definitely this nostalgia and feeling, or if you're in a relationship, it is like, oh, I wish that things were, you know, different, and we used to love each other more, without realizing that everything is cyclical, right? We kind of like don't get stuck on one emotion and then it's like a flat line for the rest of our life. Things always change, and if things have changed, partially we are responsible for it because we were in the mix. So, but anyway, we all have been guilty of it, going down the memory lane, checking all family albums, and, you know, discussing how, you know, the love was so simple. And this is going to be one of those situations, kind of like, if not for a moment, just enjoying and pretending to be something perfect and something really enjoyable. This is definitely also telling me that if you kind of had a disagreement in the past, that this is going to get smoothed over, and it's going to be nice and tender and loving care extended, and it's going to really give you a nice and warm feeling, almost like a feeling of a newfound fire in a relationship. If you do not have a relationship right now, then you're like on a really good tangent to do so. As I said, don't be impatient, give people an extra chance. If you don't really know if this is the person you really want to have a second date or third date, you know, don't jump to conclusion. I would, however, just warn, if this is not you, if somebody feels to be just overly emotional, or you don't want to do something and somebody kind of gives you emotional hissy fit, pull away from it. That's not going to be the way it works. In fact, what I see here is, for the single ones of you, you have Fire King showing up. Lovely card. This is a fellow that takes you places, or a lady that is like so much fun to be around that you don't want to sleep. And something really new, which I see is actually matching your energy. You're entering into this whole thing, and it's for many signs. I think I did the last weekly, and it's a Capricorn. You're just fine. I don't know how come, but you're like flying under the radar in this Mercury retrograde, other than having that like really melancholy nostalgia, but in a good way. So whether this is the person from the past that is resurfacing, or your relationship is getting that like second wind, and you really kind of like are going into, let's kind of like refresh our, you know, relationship. Let's kind of like make sure we are going to have a date once a week and do something that is like really special. Or it's going to be sort of like that next level where you're getting engaged, where you are sort of like committing to this next level. This is kind of going to be a really fun part. It might be interesting because this also could mean that you want it and the other person hesitates, and maybe this is why this like is like, oh, what do I do? Because I do see kind of like push and pull energy, because here in the environment you have sea kitten, but it's reversed. It is like somebody who is kind of like shy about approaching or coming back to the table, or even caring about what is going to happen. So sometimes people say it's a rejection. I am not so sure about it, but I see the sea kitten and I see sea queen. This also could be a family that I see over here. It could be, you know, your ex. It could be your child in your life, because that can also represent that. And it could be sort of understanding that, okay, you know, oh, I was so happy back then, and just like thinking about simply about happiness, not about everything that was involved. But I really don't think that you guys are going to have big issues, because this is promising second chances. This is promising new attraction, new fiery start. You guys are an earth sign, But oh boy, you're going to be pulled by emotional strings over here, but you're going to be fire and on fire in this period. It's the vibration that is higher than yours, and it might be a completely burnout for some, because like, look, this is fire, this is fire, this is fire, this is fire, right? And of course, like, air is even higher than fire as a vibration. And this is like the trajectory here, like 5 of sky. So this is kind of interesting. In this book, from this artist who did that, she kind of like named the elements in a different way. So the sky cats are the ones that are very independent. Sky cats are sort of like predatory. They kind of like have to really take good care of themselves, so hence they have to be extremely good hunters, right? And also really good self-protectors. But they have realized that this kind of can be worrisome because they will wear themselves out. You cannot be on the lookout 24/7. So they start kind of like creating the, what is this called, the group of cats? Not, is it not cluster? Oh gosh, I forgot it. It's something with C. You probably are going to kind of like tell me about it. So what they do, they're kind of like forming alliances. And as you can see, this poor Sphinx kitty here is being told, no, we are just like a little ragged, like, I mean, back alley cats. You kind of like fancy cats, you don't belong here. Get away from us. It's like this is self-protectiveness. So here, whether you don't feel you belong, or you feel you don't belong, you feel like you don't belong somewhere, or you feel you don't belong with someone, is going to be kind of like really interesting part here, because I'm having this like sense of trying to understand the situation here. And this is like sort of like simply from kind of like higher point of view, kind of like why certain things didn't work out and why I have been rejected in a situation. So sort of like, I would not say it's closure. It is sort of like if you guys had a disturbance in a relationship where somebody was just impatient or brushed you off or told you off or tried to emotionally manipulate you. I think you're going to just like iron it out, sort of like in a very kind of like human way, and things are going to kind of actually end well. But also, it's going to be understanding that, hey, you know what? You have to work on relationships all the time. You cannot just like kind of sleep for a second and you can be attacked, and it is like perpetual process. And I think this is the underlying thing, the wheel. It's not only wheel of fortune, but the wheel of fortune becomes wheel of life, and the wheel of life becomes wheel of fortune. So create your own fortune kind of a thing, and you're going to become really aware that you have the tools in your hands, right? So let me check a few things over here. So you just have to get off your high horse and this kind of indecisiveness, and you kind of like probably will feel like you're manipulated into kind of like making a decision based on somebody's emotions or based on a child's opinion, and that's going to really bother you because you want to make decisions for the right reasons. So yeah, it's kind of like the sense of I kind of didn't see this as malady. This is what is named. I'm more or less seeing it as a headache. So let's check it out. Let's see the Sea Queen. Who is the Sea Queen? Sea Queen, Sea Queen, Sea Queen, Sea Queen from Capricorns. So we have thoughts and we have haughtiness. Somebody is thoughtless, that's for sure. Somebody is very vain. Somebody thinks this could be you, but for some reason I'm thinking it's somebody else who will show you cleavage, or who will almost like seduce you. They are not really going very deep. They are just trying to get immediate results, and you're going to catch that. It's not going to pass under your radar. You're sort of going to be really aware of that, and that's how you will know, okay, you know what, I have been manipulated, I'm not going to do that. And this actually could be you, this Fire King. You're going to say, listen, I'm kind of like missing out on fun in life. I kind of like have to start kind of doing things that will be kind of like those life experiences. It's almost like think of this whole life as one big trip, and you're on a big trip and you're just like lying on the beach. It's like, come on, I have to kind of go and visit around. So I want to see this 10 of Sea, which kind of can indicate kind of like putting a brave face. This came out, and consolation. Some of you are tolerating married situation or marriage or relationship because of family. Some of you are really unhappy in a situation. I'm surprised actually the Tower didn't show up for you, to be honest. What's one more card there? A friend. Maybe you're feeling a little bit lonely. Or maybe you're feeling that the advice you're getting is really not advice in your best interest. So let me see these two cards. Why is the Grace? Why is this Temperance here reversed for my Capricorns? Why is the Grace reversed for Capricorns? There you go. The ending of a marriage. Maybe you're impatient to finish one chapter of your life. And that's maybe what this meant. It kind of like I mean, procession of the equinoxes, as they call it, right? So it's a time for the new phase. Maybe you're getting out of something. This doesn't have to be marriage. This could be just kind of commitment. It could be something, the phase of your life that is ending. You're maybe moving somewhere. You're maybe, but it's still telling me there is like still connection with the past. Certain things still have to be resolved, right? But you're definitely already moving forward. But like somebody's holding you by an ankle of one leg for you to go forward. So let me just like see this Five of Sky, because that's going to be a major obstacle this month, that Five of Sky. It's good to be emotional. It's good to kind of like observe other people. It's good even to cave in, even if you know that people are manipulating you. I do that often, and I just study people to see what they do. And I'm just like taking this, accumulating my experiences. And when time comes, when I want what I want, you know, I totally know what they're capable of. And kind of like sort of looks like you're kind of coming to your own kind of like diary conclusions as well. So why is this Five of Sky there for Capricorn? Again, the same thing. Almost like looks like you want to get out of something. Maybe that's what it is. You want to move forward, and somebody's maybe not letting you go. You cannot maybe get out of some situation, or somebody cannot get out of some situation, because the Prison and Priest, the Prison can mean marriage. It could be religious reasons, it could be children that are the obstacle, but things will roll out for you guys. You are moving forward. There is a new start. Whether or not you feel all these obstacles, it looks like because of Mercury retrograde, you're going to have some progress, then you're going to have a regress, progress, regress, and that's kind of going to be the entire period, because we have Mercury retrograde until the 15th, and then 3 more weeks of a shadow. So it kind of would make sense that the reading kind of comes out like this. So my dear Capricorn, this is your April. And I hope that this is general reading. For your private ones, please contact me at cattarot.ca. Your comments are appreciated, not just like for feedback from me, but they can be shared, and you can be that person who helps somebody else. And please subscribe so you get my notifications for readings and live sessions, and share and visit me on my Facebook for daily tarot, on Instagram to learn a little bit of tarot. And until the next reading, which I think is the Exes or Gypsy or Lenormand coming up, I love you. All the best.